Astra is one of the most downloaded themes in the WordPress repository with over 1.6 million downloads and over 5,600 5-star reviews. And the best part is, it's completely free. In today's video, I'll show you how to build a professional WordPress website using the Astra theme in 5 simple steps. We'll cover everything from getting a domain name and web hosting, to downloading a starter template, customizing that template, and then working on the header and footer using Astra. And then finally, we'll make your site mobile responsive. But by the end of this video, you'll have a fully customized, responsive website ready to go live. Let's get started. Now, before we can build your website, we need to set the foundation and have that ready by getting a domain name and web hosting for your website. Now, a domain name is the address to your website, and it will look something like yourwebsite.com. It's like the digital address where your website is located on the internet. Now, web hosting, on the other hand, is what keeps your website live and accessible to visitors. It's basically just renting space on a server that's connected to the internet so that everyone can view your stuff. Now, in this step, I'm gonna walk you through how to secure both as easily and affordable as possible, ensuring that you have everything you need to get started. We'll be using my favorite hosting provider that's reliable and affordable, and will make everything really simple, even for a complete beginner. So again, when you go to createaprowebsite.com/hostinger, you'll be met with this page right here. We're just gonna scroll on down and you'll see that we have 3 different plans available to us. We have the premium, the business, and the cloud starter plan. I always recommend the business hosting plan because of everything that you get included down below for the affordable price that you pay. You guys can look through and obviously choose which plan you recommend, or which one you choose, but I think the business is a really good plan that's all encompassing for beginners. So I'm gonna go ahead and select the business plan and click on choose plan. Next, it's gonna ask you to choose your period. So basically how often you make payments. Do you wanna make payments every month, every 12 months, every 24, or every 48 months? Basically saying, I'm gonna pay for the entire year, pay for the entire, 2 years or 3 years, depending on what you guys want to do. Anyways, whenever you go with the 48 months right here, you get the biggest savings, of course. The larger the contract, the more savings you usually get. It's kind of like the whole premise of buying in bulk, but I'm going to go ahead and select 12 months because my domain registration is going to be for 1 year. So I always like to have my domain and hosting both lined up for 1 year. So anyways, $359 is my 12-month period, but you'll also notice you're paying for all 12 months upfront right now. So you'll see that it's $43 at the very bottom. It would have been $207, but now it's only $43 with all of the discounts, including the discount code right here. So make sure it says create a pro website as your coupon code, so you're getting that massive discount. But anyways, once you guys choose your period, you're going to create an account right here. And this is creating an account with Hostinger as a company. So this is going to be your Hostinger account. So just put in your email and password that you want to use. And then next we have selecting your payment. And so this is where you put in your credit card, PayPal, Google Pay, whatever you guys want to use. I'm just going to use a credit card. I'm going to enter in my personal billing information, and then I'm just going to click on secure checkout right here. And you'll also notice with the business web hosting plan, you're obviously getting it on sale, so it's a discount, right? You're getting daily backups for your website for free, which daily backups are usually $25. That means that they're going to take basically a carbon copy of your website and back up your database every single day. So if today your website goes down or crashes or gets deleted on accident or something, you have a backup from yesterday that you can immediately throw back up. So backups are a big deal. That's free. You get your domain name, which is normally $10 for free. You get a setup fee, which is waived, and domain privacy protection, which just protects your personal information from like telemarketers and solicitors, which is a big deal when you build websites. Because I'll tell you what, with how many websites I've built, my phone gets blown up quite often. So anyways, really important to have that domain privacy protection. I'm going to go ahead and enter in all of my business information for checkout, and I'll see you guys on the next screen. So once you fill out your checking information, you'll be taken to this onboarding screen. We're going to choose I'll create a website, unless you're going to migrate your old website over and point name servers and do all of that stuff. That's where you would go. But we're going to be creating a brand new website today. So I'll create a website, click on next. And then we're going to be choosing WordPress, which is one of the biggest CMS systems out there. You could also use Hostinger's built-in website builder, but today's tutorial is going to be WordPress so that I can show you how to use Astra, because Astra is a WordPress theme. So click on next, and then you get to create your WordPress account, which is different from your Hostinger account, okay? So your WordPress account is the back end of your website, if that makes sense. So we're going to put in our own little password right here, just like that. So createaproportfolio@gmail.com is the email I want to use. I've got my password. I'm going to click on next. It's going to ask what kind of a store or website do you want to build, and I'm going to be building a business and services website, so that's what I'm going to click on. But if you guys are building an online store or a blog, you guys can pick which one you want. Honestly, this has nothing to do with the entire tutorial, so don't think that you have to make a big decision right now. You could even say create blank site if you want to. It's not a big deal. All this does is in a next step or in 2 steps from now, when I click on next, it's just going to have a couple plugins that are useful for whichever type of website you're building. But I'm going to show you guys how to download everything you need. So again, this step is kind of useless, but if you want, just select business and services, say next. It's going to ask if you want any templates that are related to business and services. I'm going to say create blank site because I'm going to show you guys how to do that later. Here's those recommended plugins I told you that are really good for a business and services website, as opposed to if I clicked on online store, for example, I would have some online store or e-commerce plugins that were recommended. You guys can leave these on here if you want, but if you want a faster website so you don't want to slow it down, maybe uncheck everything except for WP Forms because we are going to be using that plugin. So click on next. After that, it's going to ask if you want Hostinger's AI to generate any content for your website. I'm going to show you guys how to do this later in the tutorial, so we don't need to do it now. We'll say skip. And finally, we get to choose our domain name. And this is what's going to show up in the URL up here. So this would be something like www.yourwebsite.com, right? So if you were, it would be like www.sony.com or .walmart.com or something like that, right? So I'm going to be doing my own domain name here. Let's try something here. Okay, so I'm going to do astratutorialwordpress.com because this is an Astra tutorial, which is a WordPress theme.com. This is the domain name that I'm going to be using for today's tutorial, right? Obviously, you would want this to be yourbusiness.com, whatever your business name is. But anyways, astratutorialwordpress.com, you'll see it's available down here, and I'm getting it free for the first year, which is nice. So I'm going to click on it and say next. All right, and so once you click on fitness registration, you should be taken to a page that looks like this. If it asks you to do, select your location as close as you can with a CDN, just click on the ping that's closest to you and then come straight here. It looks like while I was recording, a little glitch happened and it kind of kicked me out of the whole process. So I'm back in with a temporary domain name at the moment, but what you guys should see is once you get to this screen, you'll see your domain name right up here. Okay, so we're gonna pretend that this domain name right here is the one that I just registered like a couple seconds ago, which was the astratutorialwordpress.com. So it would say right here, Astra tutorial website or WordPress.com right here. First of all, if you want to view your website, you can literally just click on the link right here and it's going to open a new tab and show you what your website looks like currently. So this is the default website for WordPress whenever you create one. So obviously it's completely fake. There's, dummy content and everything. So don't worry. I'm going to show you guys how to customize it. I don't expect you guys to need to know any of how any of this stuff in the back end works. We're not going to go through any of these settings over here. Everything is up and running and ready to go. The only thing that you need to do is click on admin panel right up here in the top right corner. And now you're going to be redirected to your WordPress dashboard, and that's where we're going to spend the rest of the tutorial. All right, congratulations. Welcome to your WordPress dashboard. You're going to see your website name up here in the top left corner. These are all the settings we'll kind of go through throughout the tutorial. And then up here on the top, you have your account, which is the WordPress account that you created just a second ago. And then over here, the website name, whenever you click on it, it's the exact same thing as when we just clicked on this link right here. It's going to open up your website on a new tab. Well, it won't open on a new tab. That's why I right click on it and I say open in a new tab. You'll see me do that a lot because I always like having a dashboard to bounce back to, especially while we're making changes to the website. So anyways, welcome to the dashboard. And you can actually click on dashboard right here because right now we are inside of the Hostinger plugin, which obviously Hostinger is the hosting provider we're using. So they do have an integration inside of WordPress where you can do a bunch of Hostinger settings here. But this is the WordPress dashboard that is so commonly known to, millions of users who use WordPress. Now that you have your domain name and web hosting set up, the next step is to speed up the design process by downloading a complete starter template. Instead of building everything from scratch, Astra offers pre-made templates that are fully customizable. In this step, I'll show you guys how to choose and install a template that best fits your style and what type of website you're going to be building from that template. So in order to install the starter template that we're talking about, we're going to go over here to the plugins tab and click on add new, just like this, which I, again, always open things on a new tab. Which, by the way, we're not going to need this tab anymore for the back end of our website. Like I said, we're not going to touch anything back back here because everything's good to go. So you can just close out of that tab and just have WordPress open. Okay, so now you're inside of the plugins tab and we specifically clicked on add new plugin. You can think of this as like the App Store on your phone. The add new area is where you can install new plugins onto your website, and plugins are just like apps for your phone. You can download them and they do additional functionality on your website, right? So we can go over here to the search bar and we can search for starter templates just like this in the search bar. And it's going to be the first option that pops up. So starter templates for Elementor and everything else. So click on install now right here. And then we're going to click on activate right afterwards. Wonderful. Once you activate the plugin, you should be taken to the other page under the plugins tab, which is installed plugins right here. And all this is just a list of all of the plugins you have on your website. That's it. So that being the case, we're going to go down here to starter templates and we're going to click on get started. So the starter templates plugin is going to open. We have the option to use AI website builder, but you got to go and create a zip WP account and it's a hassle. So we're going to stick to classic starter templates right here. So click on build with starter templates. And then this is the most important step of the entire tutorial. Please, in the top right corner, select Elementor. I don't know why they have block editor as the default because more people use Elementor than anything else. It's the most common page builder plugin out there. It's free to use. It's absolutely incredible, super powerful. That's also what we're using today for this tutorial. That being the case, make sure you select Elementor, otherwise you're about to download an incorrect template and you won't be able to build it inside of Elementor. And you're going to be confused and frustrated, and so let's avoid that whole thing. So make sure you select Elementor. Now what you can do is you can go by category right here and you can look for the business websites and you can look for a hotel website or a restaurant, or maybe you're a construction company, real estate, maybe you're doing gardening or landscaping. You can go to local businesses like AC technician or a plumber or something like that. Personal care, professionals, personal sites if you want a portfolio website. You've got e-commerce websites so you can make an online store. You've got blogs. So you guys can click on whichever one you want. You can also use the search bar to look for something specific, or you can just scroll through. You'll see that some of them say premium, and that's the one you're going to have to pay for by getting starter templates premium. We're going to be using a free template today, so something that doesn't say premium in the corner. I'm going to go ahead and search for one called David Williams, and it's going to be this one right here. I thought this template looked kind of cool and unique, so that's what I'm going to use for today's tutorial. And again, it does not say premium, so we're using a free website template today. Click on this one. So whenever you click on one of these websites, you get a preview on the right-hand side of what the website looks like, right? It's a very classy looking modern website. And you guys can scroll through it. You guys can click on any of the buttons, like you can go to different pages of the website and interact with it completely. So that's pretty cool. So that's the website on the right. On the left, we have settings. You can go ahead and upload your website logo right here, and it will replace this one if you already have one made. But I'm going to show you guys how to create one for free later on in the video, just in case you don't have one. And I'm also going to have to show you how to upload it later in the video. So I'm not going to do it here, but literally all you do is just click here and, upload the file from your computer. So we'll skip that. And next you guys can choose the font. You guys can change whatever font you want by picking one of these categories right here. It's completely up to you. And you can also change the color palette by clicking on different colors right here. And as you can see, the colors on the website are changing. So it goes from red to blue, purple, orange. You guys get the idea, which, wow, actually, I kind of like how orange looks, bright and punchy. But I'm just going to hit the reset button and just use the original colors for today. But that's how you guys can pick a different color right here. And I'll show you guys how to change these colors to exactly the same colors that you have on your logo, for example. Like if you already have your business colors selected, then these will be irrelevant. And I'll show you guys how to change the colors later. So don't worry. Click on continue. It's going to ask if you want any additional features. I'm just going to say skip this step. And lastly, you do not have to enter in your information up here. You also don't have to share non-sensitive data if you don't want to. That's totally up to you, but I like my privacy. But you want to make sure that this says install and activate the Astra theme. There it is, the Astra theme. So this template is automatically going to download the Astra theme for you. So you don't have to do it yourself. And if you already have it installed, that's totally fine. It'll notice that it's installed and it's not going to do a duplicate or anything like that. So regardless, just make sure that box is checked, and we're going to say submit and build my website. It's going to take a few minutes to install, maybe less than a minute. For some of you guys with faster internet, that's completely up to you guys, but I'll see you guys when it's done. All right, congratulations. It says your website is ready and it only took 40 seconds to build. We're gonna click on view your website, or you could just click on visit dashboard and it will take you back to your WordPress dashboard. But let's go ahead and view our website. Okay, so it looks like for some reason something isn't working correctly, which I can go and correct off camera. Okay. All we had to do was refresh the page. One thing you'll notice while you're making changes to your website, you're gonna have a lot of caching issues. For beginners, I don't expect you guys to know what that means, but if you have issues like, we're gonna make a change like like what we just did. And you'll notice that when I first opened it, it was the old website, and then I had to refresh the page to make a new website. If you notice that every time you make changes in the back end, the front end isn't updating, what you can do is temporarily go to the plugins page, installed plugins right here. This Lightspeed Cache plugin makes your website work so much faster than usual. But the way it does that is a lot of caching, which means that it's going to pull up old versions of your website when you're not even sure. Yeah, see, it's already causing a glitch right now. I'm going to deactivate the plugin just like this. And you can later come back into your plugins tab and reactivate it. But once I deactivate it, notice how that glitch just disappeared. And obviously from now on, we're not going to have any interesting weird glitches where if I make a change, it didn't actually change out here. So I recommend deactivating the plugin, make all of your changes, and then come back and reactivate it so that it continues to make your website run fast. But it is kind of a little bit of a hindrance when you're making changes to your website. So anyways, we can close out of that tab. So now whenever you click on view your website right here, it should open up to your brand new website that you just downloaded. Okay. And again, remember, this domain name is a temporary domain name that I'm using right now because for some reason, the domain name that I purchased in the step before, it's being reviewed or something like that. I have no idea why. So just for today's tutorial, bear with me. Anytime you see grayfinch792, all of that, .hostingsite.com, just imagine it's the other website, okay? But now, whenever someone goes to your custom domain name that you just purchased, this is the website they're gonna see, right? So if you go to, www.astratutorialwordpress.com, this is what you're gonna see, but we're pretending, of course. But for you, it is gonna be your actual domain name. So you guys can scroll through and see that everything actually downloaded correctly. You guys can go to every single page and see that everything installed correctly and all of that stuff. So it's good to go. We have installed the template. So now you guys can go back to your WordPress dashboard. And by the way, if you did not open it on a new tab like this, the way you return to your dashboard is you hover over your website name and click on dashboard right there. And it'll take you back to your WordPress dashboard. With the template installed, it's time to make it your own. And we'll be doing this by using Elementor, which is a super easy to use drag and drop page builder plugin. Trust me, this one plugin makes the whole process a lot more fun. In this step, we'll dive into the customization process. We'll be tweaking colors, fonts, and layouts to suit your branding or your personal taste. I'll explain how to change different elements of the website and how to add new sections and how to make adjustments so that you can make the site look professional and exactly how you want it to. All right, guys, to customize your website and make it yours, we're going to be opening it inside of Elementor, but you're not going to click right here. The first thing I want to do is upload all of my pictures to the website so that I have them ready to use on my website. And then after that, we're going to customize it in WordPress. But trust me, this is just part of my usual workflow. As a web designer, I always upload my media first. So let's go ahead and open up the media tab right here. And again, from now on, I'm going to assume you're doing what I do and open on a new tab. Okay, so we have the media tab open. Click on add new media file right up here. And we're going to select some files from our computer. And so this is where we can go in here and upload all of our pictures at the exact same time. So I'm going to upload them all just like this, and it's going to take a second. Now, by the way, if you don't have images for your website, which I'd recommend you do, if you don't have any, let me show you guys a website you can go to where you'll have a bunch of images for free. So we're going to go to unsplash.com. It looks like this, okay? From here, you guys can search for whatever you want. So if I search for mountains, for example, I'll get a bunch of pictures of mountains and people on mountains, right? You'll notice that some of them have this little icon right here with a lock symbol, and then some of them don't. Some of them are free. You can change the license filter to free, and now these are all free pictures of mountains that I can immediately download and start using royalty-free on my websites, right? I could search for car, and I'm gonna get a bunch of car pictures, right? And they're completely free because I selected the free setting right here. So anyways, this is where you guys can get free images. You click on it, and if you like it, you can come over here and say download, or you can choose what size you download. And then once you download it, literally gets downloaded completely for free directly off the website. Voila. So my pictures are still downloading, but I'm gonna go into my media tab or my media folder, and let me just delete that picture because I don't need it on my computer. But you guys get the idea. That's where you can go. You can also open another tab and go to Pixabay. Pixabay.com. This is another one, 5 million free images. You can see right here, royalty-free images, royalty-free stock images, right? Same thing. You search, you can look for the ones that say free, and you guys can download whatever you need right here. Wow, that's actually a really pretty picture. I like that one a lot. But anyways, that's where you guys can get some free images. So I went ahead and downloaded a bunch of free images that look like, office photos with this random dude that I found a lot of pictures of. I cropped them, photo edited them and everything to kind of match the exact same color scheme or color grading. But as this last one finally downloads, I'm going to also upload, go to my Astra. I'm going to upload my logo as well. Off camera, I created a very, very simple basic logo for this website. I'm going to show you guys how to download and create for free a logo if you don't already have one. But as you can see, my recommendation is to already have a logo created. If you don't, I'm going to show you how to make one for free. But making a free logo is never going to be as perfect as you want it to be. Okay, I'm just going to say that out loud. A lot of people are making free logo building softwares that use AI to generate logos. I'm going to show you guys how to use one, how to download for free, but it's never going to be as perfect as you want it to be. So my recommendation, go hire someone to build a logo for you or pay one of the softwares to download one that you create yourself. But anytime you pay, you have complete customization control and then you have the full rights to that logo. When you don't pay, there's terms and conditions you have to pay attention to, whether or not you're allowed to use the logo. You got to pay attention to all that stuff. So just going to give you that warning, but I created my own off camera in Photoshop completely for free. Like I just downloaded some free PNGs, put it together, but that's just for the tutorial for today. Okay. So anyways, close out of that. We don't need to be in the media tab anymore. These are all uploaded on our computer onto our website. So now we're ready to immediately throw them into our website. Okay. So how do we customize our website? We're going to go up here to our website name and open it on a new tab. Perfect. And actually a little cheat just so that for the rest of the tutorial, it doesn't look like this. I'm going to go to the settings tab. You do not have to follow along with me. Do not do this, or you don't have to. It's up to you, but I'm going to write. There we go. Save. Okay, so now it looks a little prettier. Let's refresh the page. So now it looks a little prettier. I just changed the name up here. Again, you do not have to do that. I just did it so that now you guys see Astra WordPress tutorial every time you open it. But I still have the same temporary domain name. Just please ignore it. So to customize your website, you're going to open up your website on a new tab and then click on Edit with Elementor right up here. Now, sometimes that glitches. And if you don't see that button to Edit with Elementor up at the top, what you can do is go over here to the Pages tab from your dashboard, and then hover over your home page and click on Edit with Elementor right here, okay? Now, if you do not see Edit with Elementor right here, it's because you definitely downloaded the wrong template type inside of Starter Templates. So remember when I told you to click on Elementor right here? It means you didn't do that. So if you don't see Elementor right here, it's because you must have left it as block editor. So all you gotta do is just come back in here to Starter Templates, click Elementor, re-download the template, and it will automatically overwrite your current website. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so we are now inside of Elementor, right? You guys can close out of both of those two objects because I'm going to show you guys how to use it from here on out. Okay, so first let's go over Elementor so you don't feel so overwhelmed as to like, oh my God, what is all this stuff? And what's this up top and all that stuff? What are all these boxes that appear when I hover over items and stuff? And then I'm going to walk you through customizing the entire website all the way through, okay? So first, an overview. Anything on your website, like this text right here, this button right here, this button, that text, this picture, everything is called an element on your website. So this is an element. That's an element. That's an element, okay? These are the elements over here, right? So I've got a heading element. If I drag that in, remember how I told you Elementor is drag and drop? See how this looks weirdly similar to this, but it's obviously just not white, so I can just change it really fast to white, for example. Okay, see how this text looks similar to this text? That's because if I click on this one, it says edit heading text. Click on this one, edit heading text, right? I can right click and delete it. But under elements, you see how that says heading right there? If I want to add an image element, I can drag and drop an image right here. And then there's a picture, and I would have to select a picture, right? So let me just select one really fast. All right, and that's how you put a picture on your website, right? Again, I'm going fast, but I'm just trying to explain what it is first, and then I'll show you how later. So just kind of, don't even touch your keyboard, don't touch your mouse, just kind of watch me do this really fast. Okay, so these are elements on the left-hand side over here. I could drag in a video over here, and now I've got a big old video on my website, which takes a second to load. Okay, you get the idea. So there's elements on your website. Elements go inside of containers, right? You put things in a container, right? So if I click on the 6 dots up here, or if I hover my mouse over them like this, you'll see how it says edit container right there. And then over here, it says edit container right here. The container has elements inside of it. You can't just put, elements anywhere. You have to put them inside of a container. Okay. This container, or you can call it kind of a section or a background, this container, the section container, holds this background image. And you'll notice that anytime I hover my mouse over it, so let me hover my mouse, every time I move my mouse into the section or this container, you see how this pink area goes all the way around my screen? Okay, that's showing you that this is this container. Then there's this container. See, this container right here goes all the way around, right? It's called a container, but this is like your about section. This is your hero section. Scroll on down more. This is like your services section, because see how whenever I've got my mouse on this one, it goes all the way around this section of your website. Okay. This is your blog section, right? Because it says blog right here. This is like a promotional section or a call to action section. This is a testimonial. So it's a testimonial section. See how it highlights the whole area? Okay, you get the idea. We're editing the hero section right now, by the way. I don't know why they call it hero section. It's like the first thing you see when you open the website. It's called the hero section. So there you go. So inside of a container, you can put elements, okay? And so that's the structure of Elementor. You can put elements inside of a container. It gets a little more confusing because I can also click on the plus button right here and I can add a container inside of this big container. So now I've got a sub container and it's highlighted gray instead of pink. And then inside of this container, I could add, you know, let's just add a button because it's really easy to see. And then I could add another button. So see how I'm adding buttons inside of this container? Well, the reason for that is you can add settings to a container and it applies to everything inside of that container, okay? So for example, see how this container is inside of this container, but so are all of these other elements? Well, if I were to edit this container, the big one, and I set everything to justify at the start, now everything's up top, or the end, everything's at the bottom, or justify to the center. I can align items from start to center to end. See how everything moves around because I'm editing everything inside of this container? Well, if I were to edit this container, then I could choose that I want everything to be in line and I can center it, or I can move everything to the right, everything to the left. But see, I'm not editing everything outside of this container. Okay, you guys get the idea. Elements go inside of a container and you can make changes to everything inside of that container. Okay, just makes things really easy when you have like 30 elements and you want to make one change to all of them. Okay, so you guys understand elements and containers. On the left-hand side, we have all of the settings, right? So if I click on this, I've got all of my settings. If I click on this button, got all the settings for the button. And you have 3 tabs. You've got content, style, and advanced. Content literally edits the content of whatever you're editing, right? So if this is a heading element, the content tab literally has the text right here. So expert guidance and proven strategies, expert guidance and proven strategies. You know, I could literally start typing right here and it's going to pop up on my website, right? So self-explanatory, it's the content. The style is how you change the style or how it's presented. I can change things like the color right here. I could change things like the typography. So I could change font. I could change size like this, right? I could change the weight, which is like if it's bold or not. I could change if I want it to be, you know, italic, right? I can change everything. So that's the style tab. I can change the alignment to be center, right? And then the advanced tab really touch margins and padding. Margins and padding are the only things we're going to touch, but you'll see that if I add padding all the way around, see how it adds just some padding inside of the square? That's really all that they do. So I'm going to zero them out. But for example, if I wanted some space or padding in between these 2 widgets, then I would just go to the padding of this widget. I would unlink the values and only add to the bottom. You see how that works? So super simple. Okay, so you guys understand the tabs over here. Up on the top ribbon up here, we have the Elementor button right here, which lets you do some extra settings. We're not going to touch any of these, so don't touch it. The only thing is if you want to exit to WordPress, but the reason that I don't open it on this tab is so that I can literally bounce back to my WordPress dashboard if I need it. So when we're done with Elementor, I'm just going to click on the X right here. I don't have to click E and then exit to WordPress. You've got the plus button, that's to add a new element. You have site settings, we're not going to touch that. You have structure, we're not going to touch that. In the center, you have your mobile responsive mode. So this shows you what it looks like on a laptop and then on a mobile phone, like a smartphone. And we're going to do that as step 5 of the video. So don't worry about that for now. Just showing you how everything is. We've got this one, which shows you all of the pages on your website. So for example, you don't have to follow along right now, but remember when we had home about services contact? Well, you've got home about services contact. The blog page is a specific page that's edited only inside of the Astra theme, so that's why it's not showing up inside of Elementor, just so you know. And then over here on the right-hand side, we've got the preview button, which if I click preview, it opens up a preview of my website on a new tab so I can see all the changes I just made. And then we have the publish button, which just saves your work and then publishes pushes any changes you made live to the internet, so now everybody can see what you just did, okay? So that's like the save button. You'll see me push it all the time. Okay, so you guys understand Elementor. All right, so let's start customizing your website. So I'm not gonna be changing a lot of text, but I'm gonna show you guys how to change the text, because obviously you would just change this text to say something that's about your business rather than just being about expert guidance and proven strategies to navigate financial markets successfully, right? I'm pretending like I'm building a website for David Williams right here, and I'm pretending that he's a web designer, which is the pictures of that guy that I got. So that's what I'm pretending is today's tutorial. You guys can decide what website you want to build for your business, of course, but that's kind of the example we're going to be following here. So that being the case, the first thing is unlock your potential in trading with David Williams. By the way, whenever you see text on your website, you can literally just click on it. You don't have to click over here. You can just click on it and literally start typing. Do you see my cursor up here? So David Williams is fine, but instead of unlock your potential in trading, I'm going to say web design. Unlock your potential in web design with David Williams, right? And then this is the text down below, expert guidance and proven strategies to navigate financial markets successfully. So we'll just say something like this. So strategies to develop your online presence effectively, right? So that would be just an example of some text that I would use, you know, if I was a web designer. So next, what we have to do is we've got the button and then the background. So I'm gonna do the background first. Right click anywhere out here in the background when you're not obviously hovering over a button and say edit container, or you click on those 6 dots right there. It's the exact same thing. Go to the style tab and change the picture right here. Now, if you guys did what I did earlier and you uploaded all of your pictures into that media tab right here, they should appear right here immediately ready to go, so you don't have to keep uploading them one at a time, which just takes too much time, right? So that being the case, we're gonna select this picture right here and say select. So now I've got this really nice picture of David Williams, I'm pretending that's the guy. So David Williams in the background, looking all professional with his laptop, ready to build you a website, right? Okay, so you'll notice that there's like this gradient, this darkness in the background. We're gonna change that right now. Go to background overlay, and you'll see it's under gradient type right here, and it's black to nothing. Here, let me make it really obvious. See how it's literally a gradient like that, right? And I could do this and I could do this, and now it's like a line almost. Okay, so this is an example of a gradient. What we could do if we wanted to be kind of stylistic is we could do 50 like this, and we could do 50 over here. Or instead of 50 right there, you could kind of blur the edge a little bit, and then we can change the angle, and we could rotate it to, you know, something like this, which would be 90. So you could do something like this, or you could elongate, I suppose, that, and we could kind of drag this back a little bit. You guys can play around with a gradient in the background if you really want to, or you just click on classic instead, and then you have just the whole thing is black, just like this. And then you can change the opacity to be a little bit better. So I could do something like this, for example. I think that looks really good. Okay, so the reason that we have a background overlay is if I were to have no overlay like this, see how it's kind of hard to read the text over the highlights of the picture back here? Like over his suit jacket, it's really easy to see the text because there's contrast, dark to light. But over here, it kind of blurs in with the background. So when you add a little bit of a background overlay of darkness like this, it makes the text pop out really nicely. But I also don't want to make the website look too dark. So I'm going to kind of go with like maybe 37 right here, or 0.37. But anyways, that's how you change the background, right? I just put the picture in right here. And so that's all you guys have to do. So now we have the button right here, and it says learn more about our strategies. You could just leave it as learn more, just like this, which you see I'm going over to the text over here, and that's the learn more button. Or maybe instead of learn more, you want to say read more, or sign up, or, you know, book a table, whatever your business is. I'm just going to leave it as learn more, because he's a web designer. So when it comes to editing a button, you really only need 2 things. You've got the text, which displays on it, and then you've got the link, which is where it takes you when you click on it. So for example, if I were to put in YouTube right here, and then click on publish to save my work, so that it's live. And then I were to click on the preview button, which is right next to the publish button. Now, whenever you click on this button, it's gonna take you to YouTube. See how that works? And it's loading. Okay, you guys get the idea. Wherever this link is, this URL, that's where it's going to take them when you click on the button. You can also, by the way, click on the settings right here, and you can say open on a new tab. And so now whenever you click it, it'll automatically pump a new tab out. So that's kind of a nice little button to have right there. But anyways, I'll let you guys kind of decide where you want this button to link to. For now, I'm going to leave it just as a hashtag, but you guys can put in the URL right here. Now, for example, let's just say, you know, you have a home about services contact. What if you want this button to link to the services page? Well, that's really easy. In Elementor, all you got to do is just search for the page name. So the page title is services. So just search for services. And you'll see that Elementor searches all of your stuff. You have pages, but then you also have a post. That's a blog post. It's one of the default dummy blog posts that come with this template that we downloaded. There's a couple of blog posts in here. So ignore this, right? We're going to close out of that. I just wanted to show you. You don't have to go over there. But basically what's happening is Elementor is searching your entire website for anything with the word serve in it, just like this, which we're looking for services. And so now you'll see there's only 2 pages. There's a home page and a services page. So click on the services page and it will automatically insert your URL with, which takes you to the services page. So now if I click on publish and preview, you'll see that I can click on learn more and it takes me immediately to the services page of my website, which is where they can learn more about the services I provide, right? So that's how you link to one of the pages on your website or to a URL if you want to take them somewhere else. Okay. The last thing is you could go to the style tab and change the colors of the button, but there's no point because I'm going to show you guys in just a second. Well, you know what? I'll just show you right now. If you want to change the colors of everything on your website, so change the same yellow they're using, the same blue that they're using, same yellow, same blue, same yellow. You see that? You want your website to have the exact same color throughout. If you want to change that, go back to your WordPress dashboard. We're going to go over here and go to the Appearance tab and click on Customize right here. And by the way, if you did not open a new tab for Elementor, you have to click on the E and then click on Exit to WordPress. Okay. So inside of the customizer, by the way, this is the Astra customizer right here. This is how you use the Astra theme. You'll see the active one is Astra. Go to the Global tab, click on Colors, and you'll see the entire color palette that's being used for this website. So if you see the yellow right here is this yellow. If I were to change this, for example, let me just copy this so I don't lose my color code. But if I were to change this to, I don't know, let's go with red. Now you'll see that everywhere where that yellow was used, now you'll see it's red. There's the red, there's red, there's red. I mean, I could change it to purple. I could change it to green, for example, and now it's green everywhere on my website. If I go to the About page, check it out. It's using green everywhere, right? So there's green, right? So this is how you change the colors on the entire website to be branded, because this is a template that's been built for this. I would not recommend changing it individually inside of Elementor by just clicking on it and going to the Style tab, because then you'll ruin how they're using the theme colors. See how it says theme color 3, theme color 9? Well, this is number 3 right here, and this is number 9 over here. So it's using the theme colors. So you guys get the idea. You can come in here and you can be like, oh, I want to use, orange, because I really liked that orange color. You can totally do that. But for now, I'm just going to paste Control or Command V, that same, well, I might have lost that yellow color. That is hilarious. Let's just pick a yellow that's kind of close to it. Okay, let me publish and refresh the page. Sometimes it glitches out like this. See how it's loading and doesn't understand what's happening? Let me just refresh the page and come right back in. Happens to every software you use when you're building websites because so many different softwares are communicating with each other to make these changes. So we'll go global, colors, and oh, actually, you know what? That does kind of look like the regular yellow that we had because it was really close to the stars. So, okay, good. So I'm back to the regular yellow that I had, right? You can again change the blue right here. So this is color 1 probably. So I change this to red, for example. Okay, nothing happened. Control Z. Oh, well, and I also forgot to take my blue color. So let's just kind of get it close enough. Okay, so that was close enough. It's probably this color 2. So for example, I change it to red. Ah, there we go. So it was color 2 that was being used for all of this. See how now it's red everywhere? Well, for the parts that were using that blue. You get the idea. Control V. We'll leave it as blue for now. But you guys can customize this to look exactly the way you want. I just wanted to show you that's how you change the colors so they appear everywhere. Click on Publish in the top right corner, close out of that tab, and we're going to go back into Elementor. Okay, so that's how you change the color. I feel like the hero section is looking good, so we'll move on to the About section right here. We can click on this picture over here. You'll have to click on the actual container, which is this gray area, because see how it's one container over here and then one container over here? There's the gray container, and then there's the main container that's up top, which holds both of the containers. So we have to edit this container because it's a background image. Similar to how this is a background image, this is also a background image. It's not an element. So go to the Style tab again, and here's the background image. Click on it, and we can change it to a picture of this dude, which I have a square picture. Select. Voila. Stylized. Love it. Okay. Picture of him looking all tough, like, I'm going to build a website for you and it's going to look good. Okay. We've got the About text over here. You can click on it and literally change what it says. You can click right here. David Williams, dedicated, revolutionizing the way that web designers approach the digital sphere. I don't know. Just making stuff up. But you guys can change this to say whatever you want. If you're a lawn business, put a picture of you or your team right here and say, at, David Williams Lawn Care, we're dedicated to providing you with the top quality service in the yard that you deserve. It could be literally anything, right? Change the text right here by clicking on it in text, and you can change the text just by typing, right? And then this button right here, this is a button, even though there's no square around it, like this one up here, but that's a button. So when you click on Read More, where do you want it to take them? Probably to the About page. So let's search for the About page, automatically insert the link. So now when they click on this, it'll take them to the About page, right? So instead of Read More, you could change the text again to say Learn More. just like this. I mean, you can change it to say whatever you want and to link wherever you want. Okay, so that's good. About section looks good. It's literally this fast once you start getting the hang of it. Scroll on down a little bit more. Let's click on the publish button to save our work, just in case, the internet goes out. Anyways, we have the next one, which is our services section. So right here, you could say you click on it, and again, you can just change the text by just directly typing. So let's do something like web design. You can also change the text over here. SEO optimization, and let's just say mobile responsive designs, or maybe because this is a service, instead of saying designs, we could say something like mobile responsive service or editing or something like that. So we're saying, as a web designer, I can build your website. I can optimize all of the content and pages in a way that's SEO friendly or search engine optimization friendly, which I guess saying SEO optimization is redundant, but whatever. And then we have mobile responsive service, which is saying that I could take their website and make sure it looks good on all viewing platforms, right? 3 services that I provide, or that David provides as a web designer. And then of course you would have this link to the services page, this link to the services page, and that link to the services page. That way, they could learn more, or have individual pages, like you create new pages. One is for the web design service, and it says all the information, everything included in the package, the pricing table, everything, right? So you could get pretty complicated with your website. Okay, so this section's pretty much done. I'm not gonna do much changes to this, but again, you would come in here and actually write out text that's about mobile responsive service or SEO or something like that. You guys get the idea. I'm the one showing you how to use the software. You actually have to put in your own information for your business. Okay, so scroll on down and we have the blog. Now, I'm gonna show you guys a little bit about how to use the blog with Astra, but basically what this is these are just post grids showing that this is a blog post on your website, this one and this one. Don't follow along with me, but I just want to show you. So this is a list of all of the blog posts on your website. Mastering market volatility, the art of risk management, demystifying technical analysis, right? There's demystifying technical analysis, the art of risk management, and marketing or mastering market volatility, right? So these are literally pulling automatically from the posts that are on your website. You guys can go in here and create a new post. This is not related to Astra. This is strictly a WordPress thing, but you guys can come in here. I've got videos that show you how to make a blog and how to make a blog post, but for example, you guys could add a title right here. So this is blog post 1. You'd actually want like a really cool title, like one of these, but there's your post. And then right here, you could add a whole bunch of text. You write out your blog post, right? So this is your blog post. When you're done, you want to add a featured image. So add a featured image, and let's just pick a random picture. I don't know. And then say publish. Terrible example of a blog post, but it's basically like a Word document, right? You just write out your blog post. All right, so it's live on your website. So then now I have this blog post ready to go. Down here, it looks like this is not actually a blog post. It's just a picture, text, and a button. But this image box, you would add a link to that post I just created. So for example, let me duplicate this, because I don't want to have to take the time to delete this later or undo all of my work. So pretend like I'm editing this section, but just to show you guys, if you wanted to add a new blog post that you just created, like blog post 1, then I would click on this picture and swap it out for the picture that I used, which was the laptop. Kaboom. Then I would click on the text and I'd leave that as the category, whatever that is. And then this text right here, I would say blog post 1. Right? Because that's the title of the article, blog post 1. It's a terrible example, but you get the idea. So click on your picture. It's an image box. You want to add a link to that post, which actually, just kidding. Oh, is it actually going to show up? I thought I would have to refresh the page, but it looks like it already understands that there's a post there. So click on it. So now anytime someone clicks on this blog post, for example, it'll take them to that post. So let's refresh the page and preview it. So now they come down here and they're like, oh, wow, these are blog posts and they look really interesting. Ooh, I want to read about, blog post 1. Click on it. And then now they have the blog post right here. Right? And they can read through it. Which, this is not a blog tutorial. This is a website tutorial for Astra, but I am going to leave a link in the outro as well as in the description to my blog website, so that if you guys want to learn how to use the blog, then you totally can. But if you guys don't want to have a blog accessible on your website, then you could just completely delete this section if you wanted to. So anyways, all of that said, I don't want to have to hit Control Z like 7 times to undo all of that, so that's why I created a duplicate so I can just delete it and we're back to the regular. But that's how you guys would change this to show a different blog post. But again, if you don't want a blog post, or you don't even want this to be a blog website and you want it to just be a simple business website, literally just delete this entire section right here. So you click on the X button, it would delete this whole section right here. And then all you have is it goes straight from your services directly into a call to action, testimonial, and all that stuff, right? I'm going to hit Controller Command Z to bring that section back. Okay, so that is the little blog section right here. And a little bit later when we're actually dealing with Astra, because I think step 4 is yeah, because we're on step 3 right now. So step 4 is the header and footer with the Astra theme. I'll also talk about the blog a little bit, just to not leave you guys hanging. But anyways, move on to the next section. You guys know how to change text as well as a button and where you want it to go. So I'll let you guys do that for yourself. This is a testimonial right here. I think the quotation's fine. We can change the background image to be a little bit more accurate to like what we're doing. So you can just right click and say edit the container or the 6 dots, style tab. And we can change this to be a background picture like this, for example. I don't know, just show some laptops back there and then just show that I've been relying on David Williams. You'd basically just find one of your clients that's happy, email them and ask them, hey, can you give me a little quick testimonial so I can put it on my website? They'd be like, sure. They email you and say, you know, I've been relying on David for great blah, 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 blah. Just copy and paste it directly on your website and you just paste it right in here. And then obviously you'd click right here. It's an icon box, but there's no icon. But you just click right here and you see how it says Mark Johnson, and then it says investor. Super easy. Just change Mark Johnson to John Smith or, you know, whatever the person's name is. And then investor, you could just say client, you know, because maybe it's one of the clients that I built a website for as David. And then over here, you can click on the stars and you've got your rating scale. It's 5 stars. You could give it 4 stars if you wanted to, right? Like that, or you could give it 3 stars if you wanted to. You probably want to say that they gave you 5 stars, so you just click on the 5 right here. And then other than that, you can also change the style tab. If you want this to actually be the exact same orange, that's the only reason you go to the style tab, but I don't really see a point. Just leave it as the regular yellow stars, and you can change your number right here. Cool, so that's your little testimonial. Next, we have FAQ. Click on it, and you guys know that you can literally just change text by clicking and typing wherever you want. So you can change that to say whatever you want. This over here is an FAQ widget. So you click on it, and it drops down, right? Click on this one and it drops down. So these are like frequently asked questions. So you could say, you know, you click on the first one. You see how over here, the accordion items, what types of trading? What types of trading? How do you use your portfolio management? How do your portfolio management? You know, you see how they're literally identical right here? And then you see how what types of trading is right here. If I click on it, there's the paragraph at David Williams. Okay, so this is how easy it is. Watch this. You just click and change the title to whatever you want. Right? So then I would say, how do I get started building my website? Or how do I get started with your services? Or, I mean, think of frequently asked questions for your business and put them here. I'm just kind of pulling something out of my butt and trying to think of it. But how do I get started building my website? And then you would change the paragraph down here. So as you can see, if I start typing, you'll see how it starts typing right there. So you guys literally just put in your little answer to the question right there, and that's what will appear, okay? So you guys know that these are your accordion items. You can add one, and now there's a new one, and see how it's just, you know, it's basically blank. You can delete by hitting the X, and then you can duplicate by clicking on the little paper icon. So see how there's 2 of them, right? They're identical. See how they're identical? And then I'll just delete. But so that's how you guys can do that. So that's your FAQ section. Click on publish to save your work. Next, we go down and we have a call to action. So you would just say, are you ready to sign up and build a website with me? So I could say something like, are you ready to take your online presence and build it up? Get started now. Let's click on the little gray icon right here, go to the style tab and change the picture, and we'll change it to a picture like this. Here we go. So it's like, are you ready to build your experience? Use me now. Get started. So pretty simple. Okay, publish to save our work, right? So that is the homepage. If I preview it, I mean, it looks like a completely different website now. It's got a totally different guy's face. The text is different. It's completely branded to be my business now, right? I think it looks fantastic. I really like how it looks. So how do we edit the other pages? Because what about the about page? See how it's totally different? Well, super easy. Inside of Elementor, you used to have to go and open it on a new tab, click on the About page, and then hit Edit with Elementor. Now you just click on the drop-down arrow and say About page, and watch this. Now we're editing the About page. Now, you guys know how to use Elementor now. You've been watching me do this. So as long as there isn't a weird widget, I'm going to go kind of fast here. So first I'm going to go and edit the container right here. And again, you guys can pause the video if you actually want to follow along, but I'm just going to show you guys how fast you can go if you kind of know what you're doing. I'm going to go ahead and select some random pictures here and put them in the background of my About section right here. So About Us actually should probably be a picture of him and his team. So we could say, you know, About Us could be a picture like that. You guys can change your text. You change your text here. We could change this container as well to be a picture of David. Let's say that this is like a picture of him looking all professional, talking to people about business. We have to click on the gray box to edit these. So I can change this picture to be a picture of him smiling, which I have a solo one. So let's do this one. So he's kind of dancing here. You'll notice that this one got weirdly enlarged. Go over here to position center and then change display size to cover. And now you'll see it perfectly aligns my picture in the middle. You guys can change the text to talk about your business or about you. We'll change this picture as well. My call to action should have the same picture as my homepage. It'll be Mr. Straight Face with the crossed arms, and we'll say publish. All right, so now my About page is branded. Let's go to the services page. And then again, I can change these pictures to be about David. So let's just pick random pictures of David working or whatever. Let's do this one because I actually really like that picture. Well, it kind of cuts his head off. So instead, we'll choose this one. He's smiling while he's working. That looks good. Okay, cool. So services, we can change these to be specific services. So this will be my service 1 picture that I have specifically cropped to be a square. Oops, Control Z. I was still editing the top, it looks like. So let's change that back to Mr. Guy on the laptop. I'm going to change this one to be the picture of my service. And then I'll change this one to be the picture of my next service. And then I'll change this one to be the last picture of services right here, which would be this. And so then I would change the text right here to say mobile responsiveness, and then this would be algorithmic web solutions, and then this could be, I don't know, web design, right? So these are my 3 services. I'm going to delete the last one down here, so let's delete that. Let's delete the container, and then let's delete this container and bring it up, right? So I've got 3 services on my website. And then I have my call to action, which again, you guys know you can go to the style tab and we can just change the picture back to Mr. Serious over here and voila, publish for the services page. And again, for your web design service, you'd want to, put a paragraph explaining what it is, paragraph of what you mean by, maybe not algorithmic web solutions, but maybe you would say something like data analytics for your website or something like that. I don't know. Just think of some services you would do. And then lastly, we have the contact page. Now the contact page has something I want to show you guys how to use. So first of all, let's change this from a random person's hand to a picture of Mr. David here with a big smile again. Let's go with... Okay, so let me show you guys how to use this and this. So changing text, you guys know how to do. Click on this one. You guys can type in your own text right here. So you can change the phone number, change the email. So you have the cursor. The address, same thing. It's just text. So you guys can literally type whatever you want right here. And then follow us, we have some social icons. Click on the pencil icon, and we have all the icons, all of the icons. If I want Instagram to be first, I can drag it up to the top. See how it's first? Click on it, similar to the FAQs on the homepage. When you click on it, you've got the icon, which is right there. I don't know why you'd want a different one, so don't change it. And then your link. This is where you would go open a new tab, go to your Instagram account, find your URL, copy it, you'd go like this and hit Control C, and then you would paste it right here. And then that way, whenever someone clicks on this icon, it will take them to your Instagram page. And then this will take them to Facebook. This will take them to your YouTube channel. If you don't have Pinterest, for example, delete it, right? You guys get the idea. It's the exact same thing. Or duplicate Twitter, or add a new item, and then add a different icon. So if you have Snapchat, for example, now you have Snapchat. I don't know why you'd want Snapchat on a business application, but whatever. I'm going to delete it. So that's how you guys edit the socials. Over here on the right-hand side, we have our contact form. You'll see right now it's automatically using contact form, but if it isn't, and it's blank for some reason, like if it looks like this, and there's nothing there, click on it and say contact form, and it's going to automatically put it in. Okay, so how do you edit this contact form? Well, click on publish to save your work. We're going to go back to your WordPress dashboard. And you're going to look for WP Forms, which is that one plugin that I allowed Hostinger to automatically install. So WP Forms, when you click on it, it's just a list of all the forms you have on your website. You've got the newsletter sign up, which is at the very bottom in your footer. And then you have the contact form, which is this guy right here, right? So under WP Forms, you can say edit the contact form. And then from here, this is very similar to Elementor. You get your preview on the right, and you have your settings on the left. If I want to add a phone number, I just drag it in here and put it where I want it. If I want to edit it to be the same as these, see how it's like the eyeball is crossed out? It means you can't see that label right there. See how there's no label on top, but this one is like bold and there's no eyeball next to it? If you want to hide the label, click on it and it opens the settings. Right, and you've got these 2 tabs right here. It's super simple. So field options for numbers. I can change the label to say phone number. Now it says phone number. I can make it a required field so it'll have that little asterisk. I could go to advanced and I could hide the label. So now it's grayed out like the rest of them, so it won't appear. But I can add a placeholder text and say phone number. So now people add phone numbers, right? And then also you'll notice the size is like cut in half. These go full width. Just change this to large. Now it's full width. Click on save in the top right corner when you're done. And if we refresh the page of Elementor that we're editing right now, you'll see that now the changes have been applied. Watch this. There we go. There's phone number. So name, phone number, email, message. And this is how people get in contact with you. Okay, so like when they hit send, where does it go? Well, this is the contact form. Under fields, go to settings, then go to notifications, okay? So now you see send to email address. Where is it going to send the information that people enter right here? Where's it going to send it? Well, it's going to send it to this email, which it's using shortcode to pull your admin email account, which is literally this, right? So this is my admin email account right here. I could also just put in my email if I wanted to be extra safe. So now it's always going to go to createaportfolio@gmail.com. I can change the email subject line, new entry You know, maybe I do something like this so that the email subject says this, and I'm like, oh, I got a new entry into my contact form on my website, right? What's the from name? Well, maybe not David Williams, maybe just say Astra website tutorial or something like this, just whatever your business name is. And then the from email is gonna be my admin email, which is basically the same thing, but you get the idea. Anyways, once you guys are done, you guys can click on save. And so now, whenever someone goes to my website, for example, and they go to the contact page, and they go over here and they go, hey, I'm Levi. And my phone number is 555-555-5555. And my email is example@email.com. And I want to say, hello, this is Levi. Send. Kaboom. Now it says, thanks for contacting us. We'll be in contact with you shortly or in touch with you shortly. And then I'm going to give it a second. And in like a minute or two, I'll show you guys that it actually comes into my email. So let me show you how to edit this map first. And then I'll show you guys the email because it's going to take a second to get to my email, right? Okay. So now you guys are done editing your contact form. You don't need to do anything else. So just click on the X button. Takes you back to your WP dashboard or whatever. You can close out of that tab, go back in Elementor. So now we have this Google Maps widget. We can click on the pencil icon in the top right corner to edit it, and now it says edit Google Maps. We can change the location by just putting in whatever address you want. For example, I'll put in Austin, Texas. It'll use Google Maps API to search for Austin, and now you'll see I have Austin, Texas. It's an interactable map on your website. You know, if I were to put in like an actual address, it would put a ping there. But since I'm searching Austin, it's just putting in, you know, it's just highlighting the city of Austin. So you guys would put in like an actual specific address right here, and it would actually put like a little ping showing that's where my business is, right? My brick and mortar store. You guys can change the height of how big the widget is, and then you can change the zoom. So if I zoom out more, or zoom in, I guess. So bigger number means zooming in, but you'll see that it zooms in just like this, right? So that's how you edit this. Let's click on publish to save our work. We're done customizing the website, but let me just show you guys. If you open up your Gmail real fast, you'll see that from me, because it's from my admin email, new entry, Astra tutorial WordPress contact, right? That's that. Click on it, and it will literally submit all the information that I put in. So it says my name is Levi, my phone number is this, my email was this, and then my message was, hello, I'm having trouble with this product. Can I get a return? Or, you know, whatever the person says right here. But this is how the emails look when they come into you. So anyways, close out of your Gmail, go back to your WordPress website. We are done customizing the website. So now if we open it, the entire website is themed, obviously except for the header and the footer, which is down here, because we're going to be doing that in just a second. It's the next step. But scroll through your website and look how pretty it looks, right? I think this website's very clean, minimalistic, very professional looking. I really like it, right? The about page, branded correctly. It's got all the pictures of David in here, right? Services, same thing. Branded, looks like a completely different website from the template, right? The blog, which is just going to show the blog posts that are on the website. Oh, I forgot to edit this picture back here, but you guys can go do that on your own. But you'll see that there's my blog posts, right? There's the one that I created, and it looks great, right? Except for the title. My goodness, that's terrible. And then whatever gibberish that is. But people can, you know, click on whatever blog post they want, and it'll open the blog post where they can read as much as they want, right? And then the contact page. Everything looks great. Okay, so now that we're done customizing, I'm going to go back to the WordPress dashboard just like this. All right, friends, in this step, we're going to focus on customizing the header and footer of your site using Astra's powerful features. Now, these areas play a key role in your site's design and user experience. So we want to make sure that they're optimized and reflect your branding. I'll show you guys how to make necessary changes to ensure that your site has a clean and polished look from top to bottom. All right, so I'm sure you guys remember in the last step, I kind of opened the Astra setting to go through the global colors. We're going to do that again. Go to the Appearance tab and click on Customize. And we're going to do that again so that we can start customizing the header and footer. And this is also technically the portion of the tutorial where I'm going to talk about Astra finally. So what we're going to use Astra for is to customize this top portion right here, the bottom portion down below, and then also the blog page right here. So let's go ahead and get started. So first of all, go back to the homepage. And so first we're going to be editing the header section. Let's go ahead and first talk about logo, then we'll talk about the button and the navigation menu. So in order to add a logo to your website, we're going to go to the header builder, and then we're going to click on site title and logo right here. So as you can see, we have the logo right here. It says David Williams. You can barely see it. Click on change logo, and then you'll be able to upload it from your computer. Now, if you already have your logo, do that. But if you don't, let me show you guys how to get one for free. Literally just go to logo.com, okay? And then I'm gonna go ahead and sign in, but what you guys would wanna do is create an account. And then once you create an account with them, you'll be kind of met with this screen right here, and so I've got my account right here. Go over to the brand tab and click on create a logo. And then from here, it's gonna ask you what your business name is, and so we'll just say something like Actually, let's go with David Williams, for example. You'd want this to be based off of your domain name, but because I'm building the website for David Williams Freelancer, I'm going to say David Williams is the business name. I'm going to ask what your slogan is, and so I'll just say like freelance web designer. Next, what's my industry? And so I'll just say technology right here because, you know, obviously we're building websites. Next, it's going to ask us to select some keywords. We've got David Williams freelance web design. So those are some keywords we can use for our logo. Click next. And then it's going to use AI to generate a ton of different logos that you can use completely for free. Now, like I said at the beginning of the video, when I showed you guys that I have already uploaded my own logos right here, when I was telling you about that, remember when you get free logos, they're never going to be exactly what you want. I mean, a lot of these logos are pretty simple, kind of lame, to be honest. They're not that great, but there was a lot of other free softwares I used to use to show how to build free websites, or excuse me, free logos, but all of them have become pay to play. And that's just how it usually goes. That's the name of the game when it comes to tech. You allow a software to be used for free that's really good, and then eventually after people all love it, you say, oh, now you have to pay for it. $5 to download your logo or something, which it isn't. It's like 60 bucks on that other software. But anyways, you get the idea. Here's all the logos that you guys can choose from. You guys can pick whichever one you think looks good. This one's pretty minimalistic and simple. So I'm going to click on this one. Click on it and say customize. And you get to pick things like the color, the background color, and all of that stuff. So if I change the business name color, you know, I could change it to blue, for example. So now it's blue. Change it to black. Let's just make everything black. Slogan color, black. Container color, black. All right, so I've got a very simple all black logo, right? Once you like your logo and you're done customizing it over here, you can click on Get Logo in the top right corner. From here, you'll see the logo is up here, which, there we go. Now it's showing. What you would do is you click on Download. It's going to ask, what kind of download do you want? Do you want a logo zip file with a whole bunch of stuff where you have the logo, you have a little site icon that's generated automatically from it, which this site icon would be displayed right here on people's tabs? Do you want the brand color board, which, I mean, it's black and white. Do you want to download it on a white background, a black background, or do you want a high resolution file? You want to download a high resolution logo on a transparent background, and you can do the regular, you could do black, or you could do white. It's completely up to you guys. So just make sure you download one of the high resolutions, doesn't matter what color you go with. Click on download and it will immediately be downloaded to your to your computer. As you can see, it's downloaded for free. It's gonna ask, hey, do you wanna pay for something to like upgrade? Just click on the X. You already downloaded it, it's free, it's on your computer. Look, we go over here to the Finder, downloads, and here's my logo right there. High resolution too. See how huge this logo is? So that's nice. You're not getting a low resolution. You get a high resolution logo completely for free. So there's my promise. I showed you guys how to get a logo for free. It's just never really gonna be exactly what you're wanting, because obviously I didn't get to build it myself. I had to let AI do it for me, and there's minimal customization to it. But you get the idea. That's how, if you're in a pinch and you need a free logo, there you go. But make sure you pay attention to the terms and service when you download it to make sure that you're allowed to use it in the way that you want, of course. But anyways, a logo for your business, you might want to trademark it or copyright it or whatever. You want the rights to it anyways, because it's literally the logo to your business. So I think it's kind of counterintuitive to ever get a logo for free, but there you go. That's just my recommendation. Okay, so in order to change that logo, we say change logo, and then select it from your media library, which I'm going to use the white one. Select. It's going to ask if you want to crop it. I'm going to say skip. And now, voila, my logo's up there, but it's freaking huge. I forgot that I downloaded a 1000 by 1000. So use your logo width and reduce the size tremendously. So you guys can make it as big or as small as you want. I'll probably make it about that big. So David Williams, freelance web design. It's kind of hard to see, but you get the idea. Maybe I should have made the logo smaller, but I'm not a logo designer. I am a web designer. So bear with me. But so that's how you put your logo up there, right? Click on publish to save your work. Other than that, we can also add the site icon, which is this little icon up here in the top. Scroll to the very bottom, right underneath your logo, and you can add a site icon down here. So select the icon. I made this one, which is just the exact same thing, but without the words. It's gonna ask if you wanna crop it, so you're gonna have to crop it, which is gonna automatically pull it because it's a square. And voila, so now my site icon has branded my tab as well. So it's no longer this little default globe icon. So if I were to publish and then refresh this page, you'll see that now I'm gonna have my little icon here as well. Pretty cool, right? Okay, so that's how you add your logo, and it looks like there's no logo in the footer, so we're good to go. Now let's talk about the button over here. So under the header builder, you'll see down below we have a graphical representation of what's happening above, right? So there's the logo in the middle, nav menu on the left, and button on the right, right? So if I drag the logo over here, for example, now the logo's over here with the navigation menu. Pretty self-explanatory. Okay, so if you want to edit the button, click on the button down here, or click on the button right here, because this is the exact same thing. Regardless, you now have a button that says request consultation. So instead of that, we could say, build my website. So click on this and that would be immediately to get in contact with you. So what do? We put the contact page right here. Or if you have a checkout page, put the checkout page. However you build your website, that's based on your text. You could put a phone number here and then when they click on it, it'll open automatically whatever app they have for making phone calls, whether it be Skype, whatever they have. But you could also just link this to your contact page. But watch this. See how the Astra theme does not search? If I put contact right here, see how it's not searching for all my pages like Elementor does? It doesn't do that. So we got to do it the manual way. Go into your pages tab from your dashboard, go to your contact page, say view, and then copy your URL and then paste it right here. Perfect. So now whenever someone says build my website, it takes them directly to your contact page where they can get in contact with you to build a website for them, right? Okay, so now we have the navigation menu. So the navigation menu, you'll notice that over here under primary menu, you click on it, there's like nothing to change here because you have to go to a completely different place to customize it, right? So what you're gonna do is go down to menus instead of the header builder. So menus, you've got your main menu right here, click on it. I'm gonna retitle it as primary menu. Primary menu. Notice how this is not gonna appear up here. It's just for internal use so that you know what it is. Because you might have like 7 different menus on your website. And I know that, primary menu is set to be this top guy up here. Okay, so primary menu, see how it disappeared? That's just a random glitch that happens. Refresh the page and it'll come back. The Astra customizer is a little glitchy sometimes. See how it's back? So if you make too many changes, sometimes it can't keep up. It is what it is. Just publish your work, save it, and refresh. Okay, so under menus, primary menu. See how it says home about services blog contact, home about services blog contact, right? If I want the contact page to be at the front, I can, right? Super simple. Now it's at the front. I want home to be at the front. Now it is. And then I can drag contact to the bottom. Now it's at the bottom. You can also drag contact over and now it's a sub item of blog. And so now you'll see when you hover over blog, here's contact, but you can't see it because it's white text. I'm not going to do that. I just wanted to show you guys that's how you would have like sub menu items if you wanted to. Anyways, that's how you guys make that. If you guys want to add an item, you click on add item and you can add a link to whatever you want. So if you want to add a page, you can add a button to the blog page. So now there's another button that takes you to the blog page, right? Or if you don't want a page, you could add a blog post. So there's blog post 1. Watch this, I can add blog post 1 to the top. And so now when you click on that blog post button, it'll take you directly to that blog post. You can really add whatever you want to your navigation menu. These are all the options. You can even add a custom link and you could put like www.youtube.com and then title this YouTube, add to menu, and then it will literally take them to YouTube when they click on it. Right? So you could add a custom link if you want. But that's how you guys can change and customize your navigation menu. When you're done, click publish. There's really no reason at all to make a change to this. Unless you like delete your blog page, then you'd want to come in here and then click on the X button to delete that. So now people can't go to your blog page. That's completely up to you. Okay. So that is how you guys do that. You guys have already changed all of this, so let's go down to the footer. The footer, you want to go to the footer builder. Same situation. Here's all the options down here, and they're up here. So widget 1 has a title and my subscription form, right? Click on it, and you'll see title and my subscription form. You can click and edit the WP Forms widget, and you can have it choose a different contact form. So I could use the full contact form if I wanted to, for example, which looks horrendous. So that's why it's just a newsletter sign up form. But that's just your WP Forms. You don't need to customize this. The only thing you would need to do is go to WP Forms again, and you could go to newsletter sign up edit and just do the exact same thing we did earlier. You would just go over here to settings, notifications, and make sure that all of this is set up the way that you want. But other than that, that's all you have to do there. And then for your navigation over here, click on your footer menu, and you've got the footer menu right here. You can configure it, but the footer menu, you'll see right here, is using the exact same primary menu as the top. So if you made a change to this top, it automatically permeated down to the bottom. So that's pretty cool. And these are just navigation links. So if I click on about, it takes me to the about page. So no need to change that. I like that you have your navigation links at the bottom as well as the top. So that's just personal preference. And then lastly, we have our socials at the bottom right over here. So you click on socials over here and you'll see you have Facebook, YouTube, Pinterest, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Pinterest, Twitter, Instagram. Rearrange them by dragging and dropping again. You guys know what you're doing. Click on it and you can change the label as well as the URL. So this is just where you would paste the URL. You can delete one by clicking on the X. And then you can also add one from scratch by choosing from here. So if you want to add, I don't know, Yelp, now you have Yelp and it's appearing right there, but I'm going to delete it. So click on publish to save your work. So that's how you guys can customize the footer as well as the header. And then also if you guys want to go to the blog page, open up one of your blog posts, for example. You guys can make some small customization changes to your blog posts using the Astra theme. I'm going to kind of just breeze over this, but you guys can, of course, go watch my other video on how to make a blog, and you'll learn everything you need about using Astra to make blog posts. But if you click on single post, you guys can change if you want it boxed or unboxed. So right now it's default, which is boxed. If I choose unboxed, you won't see this white box behind the text. See that? I personally like boxed, so I'd keep it like that. You can change if you want it normal, narrow, or full width. So narrow would just kind of stretch this to the middle, or excuse me, squeeze it to the middle. Full width is going to make it all the way across the screen, which looks terrible in my opinion. It looks more like a news website. It's up to you guys. The container style is boxed. Sidebar, you don't have a sidebar, but you could create one and then add a sidebar to the left or right. So see how it would look like this. And again, today I'm not going to show you guys how to generate sidebars and do all that stuff. That's a whole other blog tutorial that's like 2 hours long. So you guys can go and watch that one. And again, I will remind you in the outro, to go check out that video because it's really applicable to the Astra theme. Sidebar style, if you want it boxed or unboxed, which is this white background, but for your sidebar. And then other than that, that's pretty much it. Like there's not much you can do. And then this is going to have no effect on this website, but the blog archive has a big part to play in the blog website tutorial, which again is that other video that I'm going to leave in the description. But this is what you guys would show when you're editing the blog page. You can decide sidebars, you can have navigation links in here. You get pretty customized with it, but none of this is going to work on this because I believe this is an Elementor page. So regardless, you guys can decide at least right here, the post element. See how it says category, featured image, category, blog post, title, all of that stuff. I could hide, for example, the featured image by clicking on the eyeball. Now it's not going to show the eyeball or the image. I could choose categories. It says uncategorized. This one's market trends, risk management strategies. I could change the category to disappear, as you can see. I could also just put category under the title by dragging and dropping like that. So now it's underneath. I mean, you guys get the idea. You can choose what you want to be visible right here. The X script is like this little X script of your article. So it's like the first paragraph. You can turn that off. Totally up to you guys. But that's about it. Same settings though. Layout, is it normal? Is it narrow, full width? So narrow would squeeze this. Full width would make it full screen. You don't have a sidebar. And then you have the blog layout. Do you want it to be a grid like this or Mason list or cover? You guys can pick which one of those two you want. And then how many posts per page? Do you want 10 to display? Do I only want 3, for example? And then those two won't show up. And now there's a second page. You see how there's pagination now? So you guys can decide how many are visible. Let's just say 6. And now all of them will show. But if I had more than 6, you would see page 1, page 2. That's about it. Really simple. There's not a lot of settings to use Astra for. You really don't even use Astra for anything except for editing the header, the footer, and then any blog posts you have. That's really all that Astra is used for nowadays. Everyone builds their websites with Elementor because it's 10 times more powerful than the Astra builder. So like you really can't even make good looking websites at all with the Astra theme, like if you were just going to use the builder. So anyways, yeah, that's what Astra's for. It's just blog posts, headers, and footers. So now that you guys are done with the header and footer, we'll go back to the WordPress dashboard. Finally, it's crucial that your website looks just as good on mobile as it does for the desktop. In this step, we're going to ensure that your site is fully mobile responsive, meaning it adapts seamlessly to any screen size. I'm going to walk you guys through the steps to check and tweak your design so that visitors have a wonderful experience every time they visit. All right, guys. So in order to edit your mobile responsive mode, we're going to go back into Elementor. So open up your website on a new tab like you guys know how to do. And then we're going to edit with Elementor. And like we edited each individual page when we were creating them, you're going to do the exact same thing for your mobile responsive mode. You have to edit the home page for desktop, laptop, and phone. Then you have to go and edit the about page for desktop, laptop, mobile. Then the services page for desktop, laptop, mobile. And then the contact page for desktop, laptop, mobile. Gets kind of tedious, but here's the good part. You know how we downloaded a template at the beginning of the video? If you didn't do that and you built this custom from scratch, you would literally have to redesign your website like 9 different times. And it gets exponential depending on how many pages you have, right? Because it's 3 times 3, which is 9. And that's if we built this from scratch. But if you had like 7 pages, it would be 3 times 7. So you would literally have 21 pages to go and customize. It gets very tedious. So that's why I strongly recommend always downloading a template and then just changing it to look different. Because this, if you didn't change this widget or add a different one, this is already going to be perfectly optimized and we don't have anything to do. Watch this. Go to laptop, looks perfect. Everything's good, right? Scroll through. We're just double checking everything looks like sized correctly. And then go to phone. Oh, look at that. Looks great. Everything compresses correctly and it looks fantastic, right? Let me show you what it would look like if you download it or if you created this from scratch. I'm gonna create a new hero section super fast just to show you guys how frustrating this can be. So let me just create a hero section. Watch this. So from here, we're gonna add, well, first of all, let's go ahead and edit the 6 dots. We're gonna go minimum height. Let's make it about that big. Let's add a background image. We'll do a slideshow just to make things a little fancier. We'll choose this one, and this one. Create new gallery. Again, please don't follow along. I'm building this from scratch on purpose. Cover, center, background overlay needs to be black. I'm doing this from scratch on purpose to just show you guys what this looks like. This is supposed to show you how bad it would be if you built this from scratch. Okay, so now let's add some widgets here. We're gonna add text. Let's edit the container to be centered, just like this. We'll change the style to be white text, and then we will center the text as well. Let's just say, I don't know, I'm just making this up as I go, by the way, so the text is not going to be very compelling. Let's transform it to uppercase, and then we're going to duplicate it. Let's reduce the size right here to make this a subtitle, and then we can increase the letter spacing like that. Build your website today. Have your dream site in minutes, just like this. And then we could add like a, I don't know, a divider, for example. Let's do this. Center it, make it white, and then we'll increase the weight. And then let's add a button. I don't know. I really am just making this up as I go, by the way. There we go. We'll add the button, make sure that it's centered, and we'll leave it as click here. Okay, so first of all, this needs to be 10 times bigger. Make it something like this. We'll edit the container, make it full width so that it stretches all the way across. Let's add a little paragraph underneath just for some visual composition here. Style tab, white, center, and then we're gonna copy this, Control C. Let's make it a paragraph. Then we'll add some padding on the right to be like that. So 539 left is gonna be 500, just like that. Okay, perfect. Let's go 500 here. Okay, so now we have like our little hero section, which looks horrendous, but you guys get the idea. I'm gonna make this text a lot bigger, something like this. I'll make this text a little bit bigger as well. I don't know, something like that. Okay, so let's pretend you just built a section from scratch. If I were to go into the laptop view, watch this. Look how bad this looks. Do you see this? See how it's not been customized for, I mean, oh my God, that is so bad. And then if I do phone, it's gonna be even worse. Look at this. Look how bad this looks. The text isn't even on screen. The picture is too big. So do you see what I mean? When you build something from scratch, you have to spend, hours building 3 versions of the homepage, then 3 versions of the about page, 3 versions of the contact, 3 versions of the services page. You guys get the idea. So what we're gonna do is, let me just show you guys, because this is a good example. We have nothing to do for the rest of it because it's optimized. But how you would fix this for laptop is you'd click on this text, you would change the size to be reduced. Then you'd click on this text. You would remove the padding on both sides like this, and then you'd maybe add your own padding to the right and to the left. Something like this. See how I just fixed it? You're basically looking anywhere through your website for something that looks horrendous, and then you go in and fix it. And it's usually just text sizes, by the way. So now if I go to mobile, it's not fixed yet. Now it took the settings, it cascaded from laptop down to mobile. So now we got to change this text again. So let's, remove the padding a lot. Let's change the size of this text to be smaller. Let's change the text size for this to be smaller. And then this, I don't know, let's reduce this by like a ton. There we go. So that's how you'd make it look a little bit better on, mobile. So there's mobile, there's laptop, and then there's the desktop version, right? So you see how long that took to customize? That's why it's really nice when you build your own from a template. Excuse me. That's why it's nice to build a template rather than have your own section built from scratch. I'm going to delete that, publish to save my work. But anyways, I just wanted to show you guys that's how bad it looks. If I go to the about page, I need to go double check each page. So this is what the about page looks like right here. If I go laptop, it looks beautiful. I mean, beautiful, right? If I go mobile, looks fantastic. See how everything is perfectly moderated for responsive modes? Let's go to the services page and we go laptop. I call it laptop even though it says tablet, but most of the time this is what your laptop screen would look like. I just know that from experience, so that's what I'm saying. But laptop view looks absolutely fantastic. Mobile, good to go. And then you can do contact as well, but this is taking up too much time. You get the idea. That is how you guys do mobile responsive mode in Elementor. Just make changes to where it looks good for each view. But if you didn't make too many massive changes to the template, if all you did was just change pictures and text, then it should look fantastic. Congratulations, you just built a professional website using the Astra theme. It's a big step forward toward bringing your online presence to life. So from here, you guys can continue to grow and build on your site as your needs evolve. Now, if you're ready for the next challenge, I've got a video for you that shows you how to create a blog website using the Astra theme. You can go ahead and click on it right here. Keep building, keep learning, and I'll see you guys in the next video.